Everybody, I'm Gwendolyn Sterk here from Sterk Family Law, and I have the privilege to be with Felicia Houston, who's with the University of Chicago Ingalls Hospital System. So, Felicia, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, first of all, good morning, Gwen. Thank you for having me.
You're welcome.
So, like you said, I am with U Chicago Medicine at Ingalls, and I am with the Department of Psychiatry, or if you want to call it behavioral health. And so my job is I'm the community development liaison, which means I'm the person that usually goes out into the community to educate the community in regards to anything that has to do with mental health. So it's been interesting during this COVID-19 because you hear people talking about the front line, but you don't often hear them talking about the Department of Psychiatry, but that's considered front line as well, because there are more people needing psychiatric services during this time than ever before.
You know, it's interesting, and I know that in particular, many children are being affected during this time. Can you first tell us about the services that Ingalls offers during the COVID-19 crisis, specifically for children?
So in regards to children at Ingalls, unfortunately, we don't provide services for children, but we have community partners who do. So even if people wanted to call us and ask for referrals, we have an assessment and referral department. So if they wanted to call, that number is 708-915-6411, and several of our community partners are providing services for young children. So we provide services for adolescents. Adolescents for us is ages 12 to 17. And right now we're doing virtual stuff. Everything we're doing right now is virtual. So if someone needs individual counseling, group counseling, if they need a psychiatric evaluation, all of that is being done virtually, but they would still just call our assessment and referral department to schedule that assessment, or to if they needed any referrals.
Now, it's my understanding the inpatient is now limited to the adults. You don't have any teenage services for inpatient during the
Right, not right now, because we just realized that, well, we've known for some time that adolescence and social distancing just does not go together.
Sure.
So, you know, for safety precautions, we decided a while ago to close that unit, and we're putting adults there instead of adolescents, but we're still doing individual and group therapy with the adolescents.
Got it. I guess my first question then is, as a mental health professional, can you tell us how the quarantine's affecting children?
It's affecting children in a number of ways. I would say that many of the children are used to, first of all, they're used to being at school. You know, during this time, the daytime, at least 6 hours, they're used to being away from home. So it's affecting them, the fact that they cannot communicate with their friends, even though they're gaming. Like my son, he is 13. And the other day he said, "I'm tired of playing the game." I've never heard him say that before.
Wow.
But there's only so many games you can play, you know? So I think for them, socially, it's affecting them. The anxiety, because a lot of people are not talking to their children about what's going on. So kids are just leaning to their own understanding, which is never a good thing. And a lot of parents are not having those conversations with their children and telling them what's really going on. So they have their anxiety is heightened right now. A lot of the kids are suffering from anxiety, and then some kids are suffering from depression because they just don't know what's going on right now. The uncertainty of it all affects the children more so than the adults.
So what do you advise parents to do? To simply talk to their kids about what's going on? How should they approach that subject?
So I think you can approach it in a number of ways. It would really depend on your child. So for me, I have journals for both of them, and every day I ask them to either write in the journal, draw in the journal, pick 3 words to describe your day or something, so that we can check in with each other every day as far as how are you feeling. Because I think, yeah, it's important that they do their work for school. Yes, that's very important. However, we also need to check in to see how are they feeling, because this affects them just like it affects us. You know what, I hear a lot of adults saying, "This is hard for me," and it is, but it's also hard for our children because they don't know anything. Some of them don't have a clue as to what's going on. And then especially if your family has been affected by it. So like I know my family has been affected by it. I lost an aunt to COVID-19, and I have another relative who just tested positive. So it affects, you know, and then the kids are like, "Well, is so-and-so gonna die?" You know, and it's just, I don't know, you know, being honest, I don't know, you know, and what can we do to make sure that we keep ourselves safe? You know, are you practicing social distancing? Are you not allowing people who don't live in your house to come into your house? You know, so are you wearing the mask when you go out? Are you, you know, using hand sanitizer? Are you wiping things down? So yeah, we have a routine. Like when you come in the house, this is what you do. When you leave out the house, this is what you take. So I think parents can have that routine to address a lot of the anxiety that the children are having.
What tips do you give for parents when the children are having a tough time adapting to the new remote or e-learning?
I think for some of them, sometimes you just have to let them take a break. Like it's I'm not trying to find, it's not going anywhere. It's going to be there. So I think some parents are over the top with this. Now they were teachers before, or now they're newfound teachers, and they have color coordinated charts and flowers and all, and that's great. You're a Pinterest mom, great, but that's not everyone's situation. So I keep trying to tell parents, don't try to parent like other parents. Parent what works best for you and your children. So sometimes just checking in with your children, and if they're not having a good day, don't make them do the work that day. The work will be there tomorrow.
Right. And I guess the other thing is I find it interesting with my nieces and nephews and watching, their children, and they'll say the child who was a good student is doing very poorly with e-learning, and the child who was the bad student loves it and is doing excellent. So I think it's almost turned itself over.
Exactly. And then you have those children who are socially, they love being social. So they do well at school because they're around their friends, they're able to talk, they're interacting with their friends, and now they're not able to do that. So that does affect them, because like, I want to see my friends. I want to, like my daughter, she has 2 little friends, and I am so tired of them. I hear the voices all day long, like they live here.
Right. Even though they're not there.
She needs that though during this time. She needs to feel connected to her friends. So
I know a lot of people. Go ahead.
I was just saying, just allow them that time. Schedule the time for them to do their work, but then make sure they have some time to just do nothing and just be kids.
Right. What about extracurricular activities? Because I know that's a big issue in a lot of families, and that's been just turned upside down.
Yes, because there is none. There is none. Right. But I think for many of us, what you have to do is create your own things. So does that mean going outside in your backyard? Does that mean going out for a bike ride, going for a walk, a family walk, making sure that they get outside and get some fresh air? Like you just can't stay in the house because that's depressing. And you just stay in the house all day long, all night, and nothing, you don't get a chance to do anything. So you got to get really creative. So one of my friends, her and her family got creative. They took some plates, and then they got some sticks, and they taped the plates to the sticks, and then they blew up some balloons, and they were playing balloon tennis outside in the backyard.
That's creative, right?
And they said they had such a good time. She posted it on social media, so other people were like, oh, that's a great idea. We're gonna do it. We're gonna try it.
Sure.
And then there's a lot of challenges out there right now. There's a lot of virtual classes for working out. Mm-hmm. So there's a lot of virtual classes for children, like yoga for children. So do your research and come up, what are they interested in? Do they like to draw? Do they like to paint? People are doing virtual paint parties where you have the easel and they're showing you how to paint something, from at home. So
and you just have to get creative, right? Our little dog, Duke Sterk from our office, our therapy dog, he works with KP Lynn, and they put out a book that's available on Amazon called Stuck in the Doghouse, because it's more directed for children maybe under the age of 10, but truthfully they need to understand what's going on. All of a sudden they have those same emotions, feeling stuck, and it gives ideas. But that's another thing, I think, to read to your children to help them understand what's happening, and also to give them a sense of reality. So we know, Felicia, that summer probably is gone in terms of activities. We're unknown, at least we hear recently, what's going to happen in the fall. So how do you suggest that families adjust to the fact that this may not end at a given point? So for example, everybody thought it was going to end May 1st. Now it's not ending May 1st. Now it maybe is June 1st. But even if we get back on June 1st, things are not going to be the same. No. So how do you plan for that? As a mental health professional, what do you tell the people to do?
I would say for now, for people to start thinking about it now, to not wait until the governor tells us that we'll be in for another 30 days. And I'm not saying that he's going to do that, but I'm saying plan accordingly now. Like start thinking about what are we planning to do for the summer? Because like I said before, I don't think summer programs are going to be as we've known them. I'm used to my children going to summer camp for 8 hours, Monday through Thursday. So
Right.
now they're not going to be able to do that. What is the plan for them Monday through Thursday? Because I still will have to work. But also, I think for employers to be mindful that if there are no summer programs, you may have to extend allowing your staff to work virtually because everybody doesn't have a babysitter or someone who can watch the children during this time. So start getting your plans together now. And I know for me, I'm a part of a couple of moms groups, and it's great resources in those moms groups because you're not alone. Like as a parent, everyone is trying to figure out, what do we do for this summer? Or what if we're still like this in the fall? Because some school districts are saying they probably won't be back in school in the fall. So if that is the case, what do we plan to do? So I think you minimize some of your anxiety by having a plan. Now, if you need to execute it or not, that's fine, but you still need a plan instead of just waiting around being anxious and not knowing, because none of us know what's going to happen, but we need to have some type of plan.
And I agree with that. I think that it is, even if we get back in, there is going to be that period of adjustment. So these are all good tips because many people are suffering. They're trying to figure out what to do. And instead of creating that plan, it builds up that anxiety every day. And it just keeps going on and on. I mean, when we think about it, I believe our firm is in week 7 now of working virtually. And this is not going to change. It's something that's going to be around for a long time. And we don't know what it's going to look like on the other side. So these are overall tips to parents. Is there any conclusion that you would say to someone?
I would say for parents to not be so hard on yourselves, that you are a parent first. Now you're a teacher, you're working from home, you're doing a lot of things that you're not used to doing. So give yourself some grace and not be so difficult on yourself. And just remember to do what you can control. Like there are some things that we can't control when we're going to open back up. We can't control that. So we have to just let that go and focus on what I can control. I can control my day. I can control how I spend my time. And I can reach out to other people if I need help. That's what I would say to people, to parents. Reach out and ask for help if you need help. Like there was one mom, she put it on Facebook. She said, I need hand sanitizer. And I just put some hand sanitizer in the bag and dropped it off on her porch. And that's what I'm saying. If you need some help, put it out there because you're not the only one, and be real with your feelings about this uncertainty, because that's what's going on right now. It's a level of uncertainty that we've never seen before.
Sure.
And all of us are experiencing it, no matter what our degree is in, no matter what our profession, we're all experiencing it, but we have to help each other. So like, for instance, Gwen, if you go out to the grocery store, call people. Hey, I'm in the grocery store, or I'm going to the grocery store. Do you need anything while I'm in here? So you can help somebody else.
Well, I'm also bartering on Instacart. So my store might have paper towels and the other one doesn't have a bread mix. So you got to talk and you got to figure out how you're going to exchange it and do a drive-by. I think these drive-by birthday parties are great. I see them in the neighborhood. I just think it's wonderful. There has to be new creative ways to look at it. We're in it together, and let's just move forward and try to be positive, right?
I agree. We have to look at it through a different lens. Like, I think last Friday, one of my sorority sisters, her dad died. And so in the African American community, when somebody dies, you come together, but we couldn't come together, but we did a parade in the cars. And then she popped her trunk, and we all put food and stuff in her trunk, and she took everything into the house. And then we just quick cash app everybody just sent her money so that she can have money to have a proper burial for her dad. So. Right.
Great ideas. Well, we surely appreciate your time. I think these are wonderful tips. And if you're out there listening today, you can always contact our firm. You can reach out to Felicia. You can get a hold of us. We can link make that connection for you as well. So thanks for your time, Felicia, today. We really appreciate it.
Thank you so much, Gwen, for having me. I appreciate you as well.
Take care.
Take care.